Welcome back to another episode of Port SV Holleyday. I'm Holly along with Captain Johan. Welcome aboard. So in our last episode, we were at Tortola at Cane Garden Bay, and we had just dropped off our guest that had been with us for about 3 weeks from Sweden. We are now awaiting my friend Lori. She's going to come out and spend 2 weeks with us. She will be flying into Tortola, but the weather was a little rough over here, which was making the bay really rocky. And for us to get some sleep, we decided we were going to go back over to Jos van Dijk and at least spend one night there, and then just travel back the next day to go pick up Miss Lori. We kind of expected we were going to get weather where we are now, because it is only 11 miles from Cane Garden Bay on Tortola to Jos van Dijk. So the next morning, the sun is shining, and we are getting ourselves ready to head back to Tortola, to the Cane Garden Bay area. We're going to take a taxi to the airport and go pick up my friend Lori.
We're so cool, they just want to follow us around. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All of a sudden I see
Man, it's a pretty boat.
man. I bet they beat us in the orange press.
You think?
Yes.
So you do see us motor sailing quite a bit out here in the Caribbean. The season is December through May-ish. We usually leave right after hurricane season to come back out, and it is actually the winter season out here, and they have what they call winter winds that has given us a lot of trouble this season. So we are arriving back at Tortola at Cane Garden Bay. We're actually going to get a taxi and go pick up Lori at the airport. We did try to make our way that way by boat when we left out the other day, but we just had way too much headwind, and we were not getting far at all. We were doing like maybe 1 knot, if even. So that's when we turned around and decided to go over to Jos van Dijk and just spend the night over there and just come back and go pick her up by taxi. What would have been a 4-hour trip was going to turn into more like a 12-hour trip if we would have went and tried to pick her up with the boat. So it was better this way. So a little bit about this island. Tortola is the largest of the islands in the British Virgin Island chain. It has about 24,000 residents, and it is only 21.5 miles long. Tortola is also famous for its beaches, including Cane Garden Bay that we are currently at, and a place called Smuggler's Cove and Brewer's Bay. So Lori is officially on board, and she has found her spot for the evening, and we will be leaving out in a couple of days from Cane Garden Bay, and we are off for a new adventure.
We sailed to that island over there
So the next morning we headed out for Jost Van Dyke, and we are planning to spend a couple of days back over here on this island. This is actually White Bay. We are sitting in front of Gertrude's right now. This beach line also has the famous Soggy Dollar restaurant, and also on down the end there is a place called Ivan's.
When you can't find the light that got you through a cloudy day.
So me and the captain had actually rented catamarans before we bought our own boat, and so we've been coming out here since 2008. So we've been to Ivan's quite a few times and seen different rebuilds from different hurricanes that took out their little place here. So we are glad to see it's always being rebuilt, and it's always looking better each time.
Creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner. Time flies, doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean spa had the chess bars in it. All change, don't you know that when you play at this level, there's no ordinary venue. Iceland, or the Philippines, or Hastings, or this place. One night I'm back on the world.
So this morning we have officially checked out of the British Virgin Island territory and are now headed for St. John, which is part of the U.S. Virgin Islands. So this is the first time Lori has got to visit St. John. She had accompanied us on trips on a catamaran in the past. She was here in the BVI with us in 2019, but we never did go over to St. John. So this is her first time on the island. So we are just going to have a good beach day here at Maho Beach, and then tomorrow go over to Cruise Bay. So today we are headed for Cruise Bay. So there are three main islands out here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they are St. Croix, which is the largest, St. Thomas is next in line, and then St. John being the smallest. So we are headed to Cruise Bay, and it is the main hub here in St. John. St. John does not have a commercial airport, so if you plan on visiting, you will have to fly into St. Thomas and ferry over. It's only about 4 miles, but it's about a 20-minute ferry ride. So after lunch and hanging out on the beach for a little while, we decided we were going to go back over to the Wharfside Landing area and do a little shopping. So we are off on our second adventure for today. We are headed for Trunk Bay. It's known for its snorkeling, so we shall see. It's on the way back to Maho Bay, so it'll just be a quick hour stop off. So St. John is known for its snorkeling. Today we did not see very much out in the waters, but it's still beautiful to sit around and look at.
Makes me shaky.
They were on. We need to lay down a small break. We just going to take a smoke break and then.
Use some time.
A couple minutes. Yeah. Right. Okay.
That'll work. That'll work.
So the next morning we are all off for a new adventure on the island. We've managed to rent a Jeep. Usually when we come we have not been able to get any kind of rental car because they rent out really fast. So a couple of days ago when we first arrived we arranged to have a rental and we are going to go check out the island.
up, Vicky?
Move out of the way so I can get my hands.
Oh, now he's falling. Aww. Okay, our last day at St. John for the season here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we are headed for St. Thomas this morning. say 30?
So we have reached our destination here at Charlotte-on-Mali in St. Thomas. The ride over was pretty good. We got closer inland and it started getting a little rough. So every boat out here has been rocking back and forth, so it wasn't just us. So St. Thomas is the main island that the cruise ships come into. This island gets millions of visitors a year. So we are anxious to get off the boat and go find something to do here at St. Thomas. We've been here in the past, but we always seem to go up on top of the hill to Bluebeard, so it'll be nice finding something new to do. So here is another mega yacht that is out here in the Caribbean. Every time we see these things, our main discussion is, what do these people do for a living? And I get tickled because I had seen on videos other people doing the same thing. So we're all wondering, what do you guys do for a living?
That's probably to carry on cargo. Yeah, that's stupid crazy.
So after getting some lunch, we decide we are going to take this skylift tour. So this skylift will take us about 700 feet up the side of the mountain, so we are able to get a better overlook of Long Bay. We was not expecting, once we did get up there, they have a full restaurant bar up there that you can hang out at for a while before your return trip down the mountain.
That's how we do that.
That's how you do it.
So these are rating the time.
So we decided we were going to Google this boat while we were at lunch. Come to find out, it is $360 million and it has an annual running cost of $30 million. It's 400 foot long and it is owned by a Pakistani American billionaire. So we're back on the boat and we are just going to hang out here and watch the sunset and wait for tomorrow's adventure over to Culebra. So we are headed out early this morning. Our ultimate destination is Salinas, there in Puerto Rico, but we will have one stop along the way, which will be Culebra, Puerto Rico. We'll spend one night there before continuing on our journey to our home port out here in the Caribbean. So Culebra is about 26 miles from St. Thomas, and it took us about 5 hours to reach our destination, doing 5 knots.
So we are back here at Culebra in Puerto Rico, and it was about 6 hours from St. Thomas, so we made pretty good time. So this is always our stop on our way back to Salinas in Puerto Rico. So we're just going to do one night here and get started early in the morning for about a 16-hour run tomorrow, because after that, for the whole next week, the wind and waves are going to pick up tremendously. So it's tomorrow, and we just got to make it happen, because we've got to get Lori back to the airport by next week. So anyways, we shall see what's happening here in Culebra.
So this statue is called Hector el Protector. It is a giant wooden sculpture made from wood scraps from the island. It was built in 2014, but was taken out by hurricane, so it was rebuilt in 2019. So after a full day here at Culebra, we head back to the boat, and we're going to get ourselves prepared for tomorrow's 16-hour journey to Salinas, Puerto Rico.
We just left Culebra and we are headed for Salinas here in Puerto Rico. A little bit rolly today, not too bad. Tomorrow's going to be way worse. So it was our weather window, now or never. So we got about 15 more hours. We've been sailing about an hour. So still a long ways to go. Lori's downstairs chilling in the chair. Captain's doing his thing. And I'm sitting here doing my thing.
United States Coast Guard, United States Coast Guard, Sector South, Puerto Rico, out.
So we have reached the final destination for the season, back at Salinas, Puerto Rico. We were actually ahead of schedule. We arrived 2 hours early, so that was nice. We ended up just anchoring off outside the bay area till in the morning, and we will go in and tie off on our mooring. So we make our way back to our mooring ball here at the Salinas Marina. So after settling in, we are off on a new adventure here in Puerto Rico. We are actually headed to see a friend of Lori's that lives on the island, and he owns 250 acres up in the mountains. So we are going on a Steve's adventure.
That's it. It's super nice. Man, it's pretty up here. Look at that.
So after we arrive at Steve's property, we all jump in his Jeep and we go for a tour. We actually joked around that it felt like we were at Jurassic Park.
This thing's got differential locking. It's disengaged.
Your dog's like, what y'all doing?
There's a 3-point turn on a mountainside.
So the mountainside was slick due to recent rains, so normally where he tries to turn around, we are unable to get up there to do that, so we had to get turned around where we were and trying real hard not to fall off the side of this mountain.
Run, baby, run. Every Saturday, we would load up about 12 or 14 kids, and they'd go up the mountain, and when they came back down the mountain, they'd come here.
Yeah, that was a safari trip right there. There's a palm tree over there that starts out at least 2 stories down from this one, and it's probably a story taller than that. I don't think I've ever seen one quite that tall.
And that's this here, this is
So pretty.
oh wow.
The nesting area.
This is my emergency way in and out of the ranch. Yep, here clicking. There's a monkey, there's a monkey right there.
Where's he at?
I don't know, right there somewhere.
There's a monkey above us, Holly, somewhere. Do you see him?
No. Oh, you hear him moving around.
So after our little mountainside adventure, we make our way down towards the beach and we go ahead and have some lunch. And Steve actually took us for a little bit of an extra tour here on the south side of the island, things we've never seen. So thanks, Steve, for a second tour. Anyways, this is Lori's last day here on the island, and so she will be leaving tomorrow. But I'm glad she got to make it out, and we've got one more crew member coming out before the season ends. So this will be the end of the video, so stay tuned for Sheila, that is going to be coming out in just a week or two. So we will see you guys back on the next video. Thanks for watching.